Some of you guys heard my presentation yesterday. I wanted to start why I'm here, and after these great days here, listening to everybody, I think now more than ever, we share our beliefs that technology can change the world, can change how we are investing in real estate, and not just in real estate, but in everything else, all the private markets. We've been listening to it these 3 days with amazing presentations. I think we all here are agents of change. We are starting this new era of investing, and that's great. Of course, the growth we can have is exponential. We just heard with the ATS. The market is so large and it's going to evolve so fast that everybody is going to do great things on the digital technology. And the other thing that we need not to lose focus on is to transform with our cost. Of course, everything that's going on with the technology, it has to have a cost, and that's to make a better life for our investors, for the community, and for everyone in our country. So we are MountX, a real estate investment platform focused in the Latin American market. We are giving access to investors, both to common people to become real estate investors, with focus on inclusion, transparency, and tradability. So let's start now with the subject, that is LATAM. The first thing I want to tell you is that LATAM is a big market. LATAM is more than 20 countries. Basically, all of them speak Spanish, unless Brazil. You know, they are the Portuguese guys, but everything else speaks Spanish, and it's a really big market. We are more than 660 million people. Just to make a perspective, we are twice the size, or Latin America is twice the size than the US population. In the other hand, in the GDP, it has $5.7 trillion. That's nearly half of the GDP of China. But if you compare it per capita, it's basically the same. Of course, there are a lot of Chinese. So that's what happened. But it's a huge market, a huge economic market. Of these 660 million people in Latin America, 21% are millennials. Millennials, you know, everybody has different ages, but we focus on the 25 to 40 years. Those are the millennials. This means 140 million people that are economic active, and they have money, and they want to invest, and they want to grow their wealth. So this means they have a spending power of $30 billion. So this is the market where we're focusing, where we're talking to, and they have a huge, huge potential. And don't forget that in the US, we have 59 million Hispanic people. So it's a huge market also in the US. Not just Latin America, there's 660, but you have 59 more. So it's a huge market, the Latin American market. So let's now talk about tech. We are here in the Digital Asset Conference talking about tech, blockchain, and everything that's going on the private markets. But let's see how tech is going to Latin America. The tech penetration has been growing for the last almost 17 years. Since 2003, it has grown year over year, 65% in Latin America. So every year, more people is connected, more people is using technology. Compared to the US has been growing 11%. Of course, they have an advantage. They started a lot earlier than we did. And China has been growing 40%. So huge, and this is a great opportunity because we are basically giving a leap jump into adopting technology. Basically, here, this is what has been leading the technology in Latin America. The mobile users. You know, technology with the smartphones, you know, we cannot live without our smartphone anymore. So that's what has this explosion in Latin America. So people in all realms of the society and all across Latin America now have access to technology through mobile technology. There are 343 million internet users, growing exponentially year over year, and this is also opening now talking about the digital securities and where we are. This is the gate for the Latin American market, the tech. Really important, I also talked about it yesterday, COVID 2020, it's been, even though it's great to see you all in person, it has a great effect as an accelerator of digitalization. We can remember a year ago when you have a Zoom meeting or whatever, you had 2 Zoom meetings per month. COVID made them, 2 per hour. It's like I'm sure everybody here has those days when you have 60 meetings in a day and you just want to get out of your chair and your computer and move over. But this has really accelerated the tech absorption in Latin America. So people that wasn't getting or wasn't too much on tech, they had to get into tech. And now let's talk about real estate. Real estate in Latin America, it's a strong market and it's a growing market. But as in a lot of the parts of the world, it's inaccessible and it's inefficient. So 1/3 of the millennials, according to a study of CBRE that made in Latin America, 1/3 of the millennials want to rent because they cannot buy. They don't have the means to buy property. And if we put that, they don't have the down payment, also the mortgages in Latin America are really expensive, then you have to cover all the different criteria of the banks, that it's kind of complicated to really be able to purchase. So all these guys, the 140 million millennials they are renting, and only 3% of those millennials have invested in real estate, but 80% they think that it's a great investment and they want to do it, but they cannot do it. So that's where the opportunity lies for us in the tech and in the real estate. So another great thing about the Latin American markets, the yield rates compared in average with the US, the projects give you better yield rates. So the project in Latin America average is 6 to 12%, and in the US again average is 4 to 6%. Of course depending on the project and a lot of things, but this is the average. So the Latin American market is a really, really attractive market in the real estate part of view. So I would like you to ask everyone here, what if instead of needing a high amount of capital, you can invest with an accessible amount? You'll be unlocking a huge potential market. What if a new generation of investors has the chance to get more and instant returns on real estate assets in a secure and global way? And what if real estate investing become more efficient, with more transparency and governance, and with more options for a larger pool of investors? So this is the great opportunity that we have. Kind of in a summary, we have this huge market, 140 at least million people ready to buy and wanting to buy real estate. We have the tech component, that we used to have. Yesterday I talked about the investor onboarding, and that's part of what we were building with Vertalo. Be able, through the technology, to get into access to the real estate investors. And we have a real estate market that is strong, that is growing, that it's Latin America is one of the most urban regions in the world, because a lot of people have been moving into cities, and it's growing, and it has a huge demand for all kind of real estate, residential, commercial, and industrial. So probably you heard Andrew Carnegie, he mentioned this is a famous quote, 90% of the millionaires made a fortune in real estate. The American dream, we just talked with Alan, and you know, the real problem is that not everybody has access to real estate until now. So this is an example that we wanted to present yesterday. This is our first project in Mexico. It's an investment, it's a commercial project in Puebla. It's a project, we're tokenizing this asset $2 million with a great IRR of 10.04%, and it's a cash and cash of 1.97. It's a little bit out. This property is leased or is rented to GMP, that is one of the largest insurance companies in Mexico. It has a 10-year contract, and just to give you again an idea, Puebla is the sixth largest city in Mexico. It has 6 million people living in Puebla. Just to give you, I was Googling yesterday, Austin has 2 million. So you can see the proportions that we have. So there's a lot of opportunity in Latin America. So, are you ready to join us in the new era of real estate investing?
Yes.
And this is how we're looking. We've seen, you know, it was a great panel with all the ATS in one panel. We're looking for real estate issuers or platforms. We've been talking with some of you guys, so we can unlock the Latin American investors so they can start investing in your projects. And we're looking also for broker dealers or ATS, so we can unlock the real estate power of Latin America for the US investors. So we are MountX. You know, we're going to be here all until, of course, tomorrow. We'll be happy to talk with any one of you, and please contact us and feel free to talk about it and to start this new era of real estate investing.
Vale.